Hi everyone. We're going to start today by taking a look at some of the basic fundamentals of AutoCAD. Now for some of you, this is already a software you're really comfortable with using, but for some of you this might be something you're completely new to. So we're going to go through it, some of the basic commands in this first tutorial here, just to make sure that we're all on the same page. AutoCAD is an amazing tool for the industry, and it's going to be really useful for when you're doing your first assignment here. It's going to inform a lot of your project work in this program. So now is the perfect time to kind of get into some of the basics of it. So let's get started right here. You would have just clicked on the AutoCAD icon, wherever that's located on your computer, and you might be faced with a screen that's looking something like this. Now don't get too worried about this stuff. We're not into any of this. This is just some sample files I had on my computer. But this is basically like your landing page. Now, before we get into any of the drawing stuff, let's talk about what you're actually using with your hands here. You're going to need a 3-button mouse to be successful when you're running AutoCAD here. You need something with a left click, which is going to be your primary selecting cursor, a right click, and you're going to need something with a scroll wheel, which is going to be really useful for panning and zooming in. So now let's see how we actually start a drawing. Now, again, depending on what version of AutoCAD you might have, there might be a few things you're looking at right now. You might either have New right here, the plus sign up here, or you might have a giant icon showing sort of a drawing on the left side of the screen that says Start Drawing in big bold letters. Again, depending on what version you have, it could vary. But for now, let's just keep it simple. Let's go over here to New, and this is gonna, when we hit this is gonna let us start a completely fresh new drawing and file. Perfect, there we go. Now essentially what's going on here is everything you see here, this is all your model space. Now you might see a version of this that's gridded, or if the snap is off down here, you might see a version that's completely blank. Either way, you're off to a good start and you're in good shape with this so far. Here, we'll just turn that back on. We'll get into all of these snaps and everything in a little bit. Now that we're in model space, let's take a minute to talk about where all of our tools are. So what you're looking at up here, this is what we call the ribbon in AutoCAD, the tool ribbon. Now the tool ribbon up here is essentially where all of the necessary tools, commands, that sort of thing, all live. So this is very important for us. Now, depending on what operating system you have or what defaults might exist on your computer, let's say by some happenstance that your current drawing that you just clicked into looks more like this. Now, don't panic. This might just be some sort of default setting. Obviously, we need our ribbon back, but this is where I get a chance to explain the command function of AutoCAD to you. Instead of just picking from the available tools up on the ribbon that we just saw, the command function is where you can literally type a command right into AutoCAD, and essentially you're telling it what you want it to do. So in this case, let's try typing a command right now. Now, just so you know, you can either just start typing when you want to give a command, or you can move your cursor down here to the command bar. This is the command bar right here. You can left click and you can start typing. For now, let's try it that way. So we're going to give AutoCAD a command. We're going to tell it what we want. We're going to type ribbon, R-I-B-B-O-N. Now we're going to hit enter. Hitting enter at the end of an AutoCAD command is very important because that's kind of like you're giving it your exclamation point and you're actually telling it. So we're going to hit enter. And beautiful, just like that, here's our whole ribbon right back the way we want it with all the tools. Now, depending on, again, your operating system, you might be looking at a few different versions of this. There might be a chance that currently your ribbon looks more like this, which is really pared down and minimized and could look a little barren and scary if this is still very new, or it could look like this, even more pared down. Now, essentially, all this is doing is it's just cycling through some of the different ways that the ribbon can be displayed. Now, just so you know how I just cycled through this, and if you're in a situation where this is the first thing you're seeing when you log into AutoCAD, basically what this is up here, it's this little icon, this little rectangle with a downwards pointing arrow. That's called your ribbon display. So now you're going to select this. You're going to pull the little arrow just to the right, and you're going to notice there's a few options here. Now I currently have mine set on cycle through all, and here's why. Basically, every time I strike ribbon display, it's going to cycle to the next most full version of the ribbon. Now in this case, we want to be able to see everything in the ribbon. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to move up to the ribbon display icon. We're going to left click, and there it all is. So if initially you logged in and it was really pared down or there was stuff missing, there you have it. You go to the ribbon display, you can cycle through a few different display levels of your ribbon tool. Click it again, it's pared down. Again, it's even more pared down, or it's completely gone. Now in this case, we're going to keep our ribbon like this because we want to be able to cycle through all of our tools and tabs at a moment's notice.